So while we're getting a little video ready that we're going to share, I'll give you a little background. So BEAM is an experience design firm based here in Boston. We're probably best known for our work with Mini, the car company, folks like Converse and Puma, and do a lot of work in the financial services world for folks like Fidelity as well. And we've been kind of thinking about and kicking around and playing with both AR and VR for a while, as you'd expect. And one of the things that occurred to us was, what if we really kind of stepped back and looked at our own business? What could AR potentially do for us? And we did a lot of brainstorming, a lot of thinking internally, and where we netted out was with an AR-enabled employee onboarding experience. So if you think about, your first day at work in a new office with new people, I'll just ask you guys, you've probably all been through this experience. How do you feel? Just shout out, different ways that you feel on your first day of work, walking in, not knowing anyone. Overwhelmed, confused, stoked. Yeah, I think we can probably all imagine pretty well what that experience is like. Curious. So what we've worked to do is create an experience that hopefully gets you to a point where you're feeling more comfortable in the space that you're working in, with the folks that you're working with, in a shorter period of time. Oftentimes it can take months, because really what binds us, obviously, to both physical spaces and to other people, more than anything, are shared experiences. And it's kind of hard to fake that without the benefit of time. But the other thing that kind of binds us to folks and makes us feel more comfortable are shared stories. So what are the stories that exist kind of behind people or behind spaces? And obviously AR gives us a great opportunity to kind of share those stories and hopefully provide a little bit of a shortcut and help you get to a place where you feel more comfortable. So what I'm going to do is show you a quick video prototype of the experience that we've created so far. And then I would love to get your feedback on it and cynically exploit you as a large focus group of respondents. But I'd love to get your thoughts on whether you're kind of putting on your manager hat or your new employee hat. What types of experiences could you imagine being baked into this that would help folks feel more comfortable and become more productive in a space faster?
As a part of the day one onboarding experience, a new hire is shown how to use an AR headset. He's told he can take an AR tour of the office anytime, either during or after hours. Feeling a bit self-conscious about wandering around a crowded workplace in a derpy headset, he chooses to take the tour in the evening after his second day in the office. Starting out, he sees the inside story behind the front desk, and some simple wayfinding directs him to nearby areas of the office. As he approaches a team's space, he can sort by client in order to see the folks with whom he'll be working most closely. By simply looking at a photo, he activates that person's AR profile. He sees basic vitals, what that person is known for around the office, and their areas of expertise. Each profile and all other relevant tour content is stored, managed, and served from a simple database. He can also activate a brief video intro in which his new coworker empowers him to reach out and break the ice.
Hi, I'm Pat. Ask me how we drive more leads more efficiently for Mini. And if you're hungry, ask me where to get brunch. Because if brunching were a sport, I'd be the love child of Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps.
And if he likes, he can choose to have the employee's profile emailed to him. Moving on, in each conference room, he can access a history of meetings designed to take him inside important methods and ways of working. After choosing a meeting, the room comes to life with artifacts photographed at the time the meeting took place. He takes his time, learning as he goes. He even sees who the key players in that meeting were and has the option to follow up with them if he wants. As he continues the tour, he signs a wall to commemorate his AR tour experience. Then, he pauses to express an absolutely essential point of view and ventures on to learn more about his new workspace and his new coworkers.
As you can tell, still very much in process, but if I'm sure we're kind of decoding that. What we're after is trying to convey information about people. We're trying to convey information about spaces and what happens in those spaces in ways that kind of take people inside our methods and approaches that we use and kind of expose them in some new and better ways. But I'm curious what you guys think. Sort of, if you think about kind of your first day at work at a new place, or you kind of put yourself in the position of being a manager and kind of wanting to onboard someone faster and get them comfortable, what other kinds of things could you see, potentially happening, or what would you want to experience as someone who's maybe new to a company? Anything come to mind?
I really love the idea of a holodeck that you can jump into and sort of browse through space and time and see, interesting craziness that you haven't, been a part of that made the culture of the place.
Yeah.
It seems like sort of a punt, though, to say he's going to wander around at night, and no one's there. Like, it just seems like sort of a fail mode of the experience.
It's no.
It seems like the bagel's way too big and the people are way too big.
That's great feedback. I would agree very much about the bagel people proportional problem, which, as you guys know, the bagel people proportional problem is just endemic with AR. But it's interesting you bring up the after hours piece, because we had a bunch of conversations with folks and did a bunch of interviews, and folks really felt very self-conscious on that first day, kind of throwing on a headset and wandering around and having that be that first introduction potentially to folks kind of wearing this contraption on their head. Exactly. So I think if we were able to get people over that quickly, and it kind of becomes part of the culture, people would potentially dig it.
Yeah. Is there any reason why you guys, except the novelty, decided to use an HoloLens instead of a more discrete device like a phone? I mean, I would consider that the first things I want to do in a new place is engage with people, and covering my face and my eyes is something extremely awkward, while I could have the same things going around with the phone. Can you articulate more?
We did. For two reasons. One was we wanted to just pressure test and play with the HoloLens and see what it could do. The other reason was just the richness of the experience comparatively through the HoloLens compared to a phone currently kind of allowed us to do a little bit more immersive things with sound. Some of the things that you don't get from a video is kind of the ability to play with directional sound in a HoloLens, which can be kind of neat and just triggers your brain in different ways and feels a little more immersive. But you're absolutely right. This could be pretty easily kind of dumbed down just a bit or simplified for a phone or a tablet, for sure.
It doesn't show up in this video, but the HoloLens has maybe 30 degrees field of view. And so were there practical issues of I don't even know it's there?
Wait, is that Ken Perlin? He has an Oscar he's an NYU professor. He's a big deal. He's speaking later.
Yes, so, yeah. So,
Pixar wouldn't be able to do shit without
right, so short answer is absolutely yes. It's an issue, and I think, I think for all of us who've worn a HoloLens or Meta, we know there are still, even with voice activation and the ability to look at something to activate it, there are still some real usability, issues to be surmounted. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of training, and there's got to be some patience on the part of the folks who are using it, for sure.
Let me just interrupt for 2 seconds. So, David Rose, anyone watch the Jon Stewart or Colbert show? He was on both. I don't know if you know that. He wrote Enchanted Opera. Yeah. Okay. But he's really clever on things, so you should talk to him if you like that stuff. 2, we have lunch, and the lunches are bigger than I thought. And so what I thought is maybe share the lunch with someone else as a way to get to know them. You don't have to, but they're really big. And it's a nice way to kind of, for good people to kind of connect and so on. So did you want to take another?
No, I think everyone's way too hungry.
Thanks to all the
Need more.
speakers.
Yeah.